You hungry? Let's grab a snack. Let's check what's going on. Hey, listen. It's been a minute. It's been like 2 weeks again. I'm sorry. I was just I was cooking up something. You feel me? I was chefing it back with some manga. Listen, I got a lot of videos. I keep saying that. I know I always say that, but if you saw my list, you'd be procrastinating too. But let me stop. Listen, this year had some great series to offer. A lot of crazy blockbusters came out. Of course, like we talked about Chainsaw Man Part 2, that kind of shook the world and kind of threw everybody into a rap and changed kind of the manga industry, and everybody was all like fucking just up in uproar about it. And then we had like shorter, like mainstream, like I'll be like Get Inside, that just kind of like reframed like the short storytelling of manga and brought back a lot of gems that we haven't seen before. Like that story itself was unique as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. And if you really read anything from that guy that who did Taco Peak. I was gonna say, but listen, I'm gonna tell you about the greatest manga, the top manga of last year. Just kidding, these are my personal favorite, to be honest. I got you. Look at you. You thought I was gonna name some blockbusters. Fuck you. Listen, I'm gonna start off. There's like 15 or 16 I have on this list in total. This is gonna like, there's no like order to them in a sense, like true ranking. Like I don't have like all these like at an like a 9 or 9.1. They're all just like really great. I recommend you read them from the bottom of my heart. I think they were like really interesting for me, and I think you would. I think everybody would enjoy them. They're like all unique stories though. But let me start it off. Listen, I'm gonna start with Innocence. Innocent. I read this story, this and its cover story back like a while ago. I started about I didn't finish it till like last year. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. It's basically historical fiction, and it kind of centers around the executions of this famous French family during the French Revolution. I think there's Samson. I think that's their family name, or Henry Samson. It follows the titular son, and then subsequently the daughter later on. This story is just like very like beautifully illustrated. It's by Shinichi Sakamoto, and if you know anything by him, his art is amazing. He did The Climber, which is another historical fiction story, which is fucking euphoric, honestly, to say the least. But back to the main point, this story kind of like a deeply moral one. It talks about the art of like what it means to kill something, the value of life, and what that means. A lot of things that it tackles, like our family issues, social dynamics, obligation to yourself and who are you with. Like it's just kind of like a weird. It's not a weird story, but it's a unique story that tells like perspective like you wouldn't think somebody would have back in like 1600s or 1500s. It's just deeply human, and it's deeply like inspiring for connection. But yeah, that's number 15. But we're gonna talk about it a little bit. Let's go on. We got JJK at number 14, my boy. Listen, holy hell! I don't even know why I even have to talk about this too much. I don't want to put series that I've already covered too much in this list because there's so many like stories, and of course we have a lot of reruns. Of course, last year's gonna be good. This year's gonna be good. But JJK kind of like solidified itself as of now. I feel like it's a cult classic. Will be a cult classic. Solidified itself like as a modern day like Yu Yu Hakusho, or since like people look back at the series and like just and you clamor on about the things, the visual storytelling, the art, the story, the characters, like everything is just like unique about this. It's just the themes that it presents. The fucking fights are insane. The attention to detail that Akutami puts in each chapter is just. I'm glad to be born in a time where I can read this. It's coming out in my life. Out of all the time in history, I got to see this one, head ass. But the last chapter you sick though. If you read that shit, you're sick too. We're in pain, copium. But enough about JK. Let's switch up to a more wholesome. This next one I got it's called Machida no Seki. This is one of the few shoujo series that I've read. I'm planning to read a bunch more in the coming year. Just get my head. I want to like dip my toe in that water. It's a big list of manga, and I feel like a lot of shoujo series get kind of underrated because they're like just as they're just as good as their shonen counterparts, or even their seinen counterparts, or the josei. Like they're all just like really good, but like they're not as talked about as I see in like a lot of larger media. But this series is so wholesome. I swear it like heals me like reading this, because the quick synopsis follows the main character Machida as he's extremely like, kind and helpful kid, and as he tries to understand himself and the world at large and the people around him and what love means to him, and different types of love that he counteracts like with his familial to like more relational, emotional with like a girlfriend or like anybody in his life, like his brothers. Just like there's so many different types of like love that he's encountering. He doesn't know how to process it, but he does do it as he does it in the most emotionally responsible way for himself, but other people, and it's just a very unique and like beautiful story. I like it. It's very short. It's only like 25 chapters, but the meaning is ever present. I think it's by Yuki Ano. God, no, shout out to her. She is a great like she illustrates it and writes the story like it's a banger, man. It really asks a lot of pointed questions for like the readers. That if you ever like have like a like love for yourself or just looking for like that type of meaning, like what does it mean to like self improve or self develop? I think this is like a very important story to read. It's goaded. It's goaded up there. Fuck that. Yeah, it's amazing. But side note, let's track to another one. Blue Giant, man. I wanted to make a video about this because the anime is coming out very soon, like later this month. So I might look up for that video. It might come out very soon. I'm not sure the details of the timeline, but it should come out. But this kind of follows an idealistic protagonist named Dias. He works his way up becoming a world-renowned jazz musician. There is like two other side stories, or not side stuff, but like basically like epilogue things with like the manga, with Blue Giant Supreme and like Blue Giant, I think World Explorer are coming. Or they're out right now, or they're already finished. I haven't really caught up with like the Explorer side, so don't do much, but from the original Blue Giant, it's a great tale of like the struggle against art, the perseverance this guy does. It's just amazing. And if you're a musician that loves any type of music or like just those type of settings and vibes, like it kind of reminds me of like a Kid on the Slope-esque kind of story. I think this is one of the best ones to read out there, honestly, for music. I think Shinichi Izuzuki writes this story. I'm telling you, boy, you're gonna be enamored with it from start to finish. Sheesh. Shout out to that boy Johnny Star. I think he has a video on it. Go check out his channel too. W Mans. Ugh. Okay. And the next one I do talk about is sidetrack into a better one. Is the beginning after the end debate. Listen, I read this is one of the few web novels that I've actually completed. I've read a couple. I've read one or two before. Like I think what is that one with the superpower one? And they're in a city. I forgot the name of it. Unordinary. Yeah, that's what it was. I read that. That was pretty good too. I might make a video about it, just describing that. That was a good story. But this one is just unique because I feel like it gets that touch of manga air with the aesthetic that it touches you with the isekai kind of vibe, reincarnating. But as well as it's just a very isekai-esque, it doesn't fully follow those isekai tropes of him being overpowered or broken in any type of way. Every accomplishment that you read the main character with is very earned and like very like satisfying when he gets it. But also it doesn't like feel like he's like overpowered in any way or like broken. He's still a human. He still has very poignant character flaws in himself that he has to work on. He's not just some enigmatic being in the world. He's definitely like a top tier player, but his role in the story is far more important than any type of power he has. Like his I don't know how to describe it. It's just his demeanor, main character art as he travels through and like the world kind of unfolds in his eyes. It's great. I've read up to like I finished I caught up to the Onwell stuff and the web novel, but now I'm actually reading like more into it, like with the daily chapters come out with like that come out through like the author's like thing. I forget what it's called, but those are it's a very good story, and it only gets better as time goes on. It talks about really tackles like really good themes of like racism, classism, war, reality. It's very good, and it gives like the air of like AOT in a lot of ways. Not like it's like one to one, of course. Like AOT is a different type of story, but this kind of gives like the same type of energy from it. And if you ever like Mushoku Tensei, I think this is like a very good like replacement for it if you don't like Rudy at all. Like if you hate that nigga, like just pointedly, this shit it's got it. It's got all the things without like the perviness, the weirdness, the awkwardness. It has like a very human character, and he does like fall in love and stuff like that. But it's very like natural. It doesn't seem anything forced. If anything, it like kind of gates that like romance subject to itself. Like it's very precious and like heartwarming to see when it does happen for you. So it feels like everything feels earned and rewarded appropriately. Nothing is like spat into you. And if anything is spat into, like there's consequences, there's actions for his feelings. He doesn't just like get everything like resolved. He doesn't just get power ups like that. It's a good story. I love debate. I want to make a video like talking about this like just subject, just more detail, which I will do for some of these videos that I have, or some things on the list. But that's number 11. That's about too much. Also, let's go. Number 10, fucking Vinland Saga, bro. Listen, do I have to really talk about this story at all? you are watched by then. You are seen it. This shit is goated. Whatever I say in this synopsis won't do you justice as much as just watching it or just reading the story itself. Definitely a recommendation for anybody that's like anything Seinen, anything Berserk, Vagabond, like anything you like with like mature themes. Vinland literally solves that niche. It's got you. It wants you. But yeah, listen. Number 9, Call in Night. Call in Night. I dropped a video on this manga when before the anime came out, and it sort of revolves around a lot of like emotional intelligence and just the quiet scene at night. That's the ambience of like the unyielding part of that is so like immaculate, and the character story are just complement that theme so well. But like also the tonal shifts like the manga does, and sometimes when heightened emotion happens, it's crazy. I never thought I could like be enamored by like a guy who did Dagashi Kai's could write something like this. But this is it's amazing. I say crazy a lot, but it's just everything you want in a story for real. But yeah, I'll talk about some more. If you haven't watched the anime, please go watch it. Go watch the manga. Go fucking read it. What the fuck you doing watching it? I mean, please watch the video. I'm just kidding. All right, yeah. I'm sorry. But let's go. Oh my god, number 8. Listen, shout out to Two Lady Titty, bro. Wherever you are, nigga, I fucks with you. Thank you for he gave me this recommendation. I got this super late in the year, so I didn't really know if I wanted to put it, but the story was so jarring and like impactful. I had to put it on there. There was no way I could talk about manga without adding this. Sounds of Life. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this as much as I did, but I couldn't help but get attached to a lot of the characters and supporting cast, like just that in the story that just made it feel so unique. Like each character felt like they had their own unique path. Like a lot of stories have like a giant cast. It feels like it's very hard to like focus on one person, or like there's too many perspectives to account for it to like make the story like work in a sense. And that's no fault for sometimes of writing or anything like that. But this story has every character have their moment, and it doesn't ever feel like they're forced in a way. And they all converge and make themselves better. When they're all together, it kind of like symbolizes that like their ensemble begins together. Like each person has a key point in the role, and they do it so well in the story. Like no one's like just leaning on each other just for like some mental support, or like they're here because they're sad. Like they need each other, and they support each other. Each one of them just exemplifies that like crazy. And the presence when they get together is like almost euphoric and amazing. Like you can feel the music by reading it. I know that's weird to say, but like I can feel it when I'm reading this. It's like watching a live performance of like a group. When I read some of these chapters, I'm like, yo, this is just, I'm in this, so I can hear the music, my nigga. Like, I can feel this. I think that one of the most important moments of the year, like, it made me cry, because seeing one of the characters really develop. I won't say who, but he really like you can tell from the first chapter, like this character is going to have like some important like decisions to make in the long term. Seeing him develop and move through the story is just, it's fire. It's fire. I love it. But next, I know you all been waiting. Listen, you don't want somebody to talk about Chainsaw Man. You want somebody to talk about your favorite boy Fujimoto. Listen, what can I say? That you're ever Chainsaw Man is very amazing. On the surface level, every time it feels like unique, but also on the deeper level, has so much contextual like evidence and attention to detail that Fujimoto is a master of visual storytelling to the maximum. He doesn't leave anything in there that doesn't go. Like it's like that Chekhov's gun. He is the Chekhov's gun of manga, bruh. If you see the shit, he's gonna use it type beat. That's all I gotta say. There's no plot, there's no holes in it. He's a visionary in his own right. While I didn't like the anime that much, it wasn't unique. It wasn't that crazy for me. It's a good anime adaptation, but it's not like the great thing I thought it would be. But the mangaka in part 2 feels even better than part 1. Part 1 felt a little lackluster, but part 2 feels like it started off beat with a roll, and it kept going, and it's not something. If you're reading right now, we're sick. We're all sick. We know what we like though, but listen, this manga is nothing short of amazing. If you haven't read it, please go fucking pick it up. What are you doing, my guy? Like, stop it. But yeah, I got another one. This is a new one for you. This series is called Tenkachi Nihon Sakiyoji Bushishu Ketsins? I don't know how to say it. It's basically Tenkaichi. It's like a battle royale. Are you looking for some visceral storytelling, some gorgeous art, an amazing plot to follow? This series is all you wanted. It's what Record of Ragnarok really should have been. It's a story that follows like a basic historical timeline of the unification of Japan that we see under Oda Nobunaga. God damn, why it's hard to say it. He's referred to as a demon king in his time, or these people. But he realized he's about to die and he needs to find a successor for his throne. So he's like, hey guys, let's start a death battle amongst Japan's strongest 16 martial arts. So these are all like Hanzo Hattori, Musashi Miyamoto, Sakashi Kyojiro, like all these heavyweights in Japan, from like the time of feudal Japan to now, are like in this like 16 clans are fighting to the death. And these battles aren't just temporary, like fucking these are technical prowess. These are like also supernatural nature, but it's also like a element of realism because these characters were real in real life, so like you can feel like the storytelling, and they have their own unique backstories that makes it just like amazing just to fucking read. Like I love the fucking art in that damn show, on that damn manga right now. But listen, go read it for yourself. So I think it's like relatively, so it's only like 30 chapters, but it's got sauce. It's got sauce right now. I ain't gonna lie. All right. Number 5, ShangriLa Frontier. Listen, this anime is coming out soon, so please go watch the anime when it comes out or read the manga at this point. But this is basically the most RPG isekai I've ever seen. The world building and the fantastic art are like just surplus to that. Like just all follow the story of a gamer basically and how he's good at games and he's like looking for a challenge. So it's like a very like superficial kind of thing, like oh he's just looking for like something to play, but in the way he uses that like super like his talent for games is like very analytical. It's not very like oh I'm just gonna overpower the boss. He like thinks through it like properly and thought process. Like when and there's one battle in the series and like one of the chapters that like he has to fight like this giant like raid boss type enemy with his squad, and he beats it in the most underhanded way, but also like the smartest way you can think about it. Like it's actually like a group of like it's like I'm like watching somebody play World of Warcraft or like Final Fantasy, like take down a boss, like or in Destiny, like with your friends. Like there's things in order you have to proc a weakness to do this. It has it all, and the author has a very like intelligent way. So he's played the like video games and he knows like the mechanics of things. So and it's exemplified through the main character again. So it's like these are great. I don't want to spoil too much because it's like it's in there, but hey, if you like RPGs, you like isekai, this is your next up. Hands down, my boy. All right, number 4, because I feel like Cigarette and Cherry. Hey, as a this is a romance manga that kind of teaches you like being and feeling more like that than anything else. It deals with two people that have very like idealized versions of like love or what feeling is in relationships or what it means to be loved by another person, and it shows like a very unique like human side to like what they expect to what they actually like what actually mean in life, and how these people like go about these relationships and like how they form and change themselves over time, and really like look like a deeper look into like their own self psyche about like who do I love? Like, am I really in love with this person, or I really like this person, or just like the superficial, just like the lust, the horniness? It shows like how complicated like a lot of human emotions can be, and things will be in a relationship when you're into like fighting, like jealousy, like secrecy, like there's fighting, like but not in the sense of like this like aggression, but it's like, dude, I broke this person's trust. How do I form myself? How do I be in this? How does he trust me again after I like did this? It's amazing. But yeah, that's Trigger and Terry. He just finished, so it's about 124 chapters. Ending is not my favorite, but it's still a well-rounded story that comes back to its like central themes pretty honestly, and I do enjoy it. But talk about another one, Blue Period. You know, I had this up by number 1 last one. This series makes me want to fucking draw so badly. It makes you want to like just create. Like I don't know, something about like Yamaguchi's like personality just makes you like enamored by seeing him on the pages, like on wondering and trying to pondering. It's like myself, how I felt like in my like early college years. How to like, what am I doing? What am I gonna do? Like that type of like zeal and honesty is like so rare. It's very raw and beautiful to see like that. And it makes me so self-aware of the creations that you make. It like in these videos that I do, I'm like, damn, what do I want to talk about? What stories do I want to tell about? How do I tell you like how I'm feeling through the manga? How do I interpret that to you and get you to feel the same way I do? Which I always want to do. I'm like, damn. So it's like a very creation like set, but I love it. I don't want to talk about too much. If you haven't read it, go read Blue Period. Got you. Honorable mentions before I start number 2. We got fucking Ryou Dragon, which is on hiatus because like the creator is going through so a bit of sickness. So hopefully he returns and we see some more of that. But I definitely love that damn series from last year. And Sakamoto Days. goddamn, the fights, everything about the series is good too. I want to add it, but there's so many other manga that I like just a little bit more. I want to talk about, and so Real Dragon is up there, but I just couldn't put it in there because, like I said, the video will be like 30 minutes. But yeah, and the next one, those are number two, Hiri Sumiya. I know a lot of you haven't heard of this manga before, but I swear this is the GOAT. This is low key. This is manga that my brother actually recommended me. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll read it. It's such an important way to illustrate life and the finer details of it, like living your life in the most relaxing way possible, but also like living the most earnest way. It's just a full feel good, like realistic picture of just how things go in life. And the creator of it was diagnosed with cancer, like just prior like COVID and everything like that. So he was going through it. He actually like was in remission now. I think he's okay. So he like COVID, and he was inspired by like his treatment of like that to write this story to understand like life in itself. Like it's so bold, but like very subtle at times. It's fierce but lighthearted. It brings you closer to your own truth of being and how you want to live. And the best equation to not take life for granted and like live how you really envision to, and living in your truth as much as possible, and whatever that means for you. Day-to-day life, like romance, it has like everything, like romance, action, like it's just so good to like read. It's only like 30 some chapters, which is it's fairly like unwhelming, but I swear this when this series gets like the popularity it deserves, when it gets an anime or whatever it needs to, people are gonna respect this boy right here. Hiri Sumiya, W. Oh, and the last one. Listen, this is my romance GOAT. Listen, this is Insomniac's After School. Man, when I tell you this series like took me for a ride, it gave me some of the most like intimate feelings I've had for a while. Like when I read it the first time, I was like, damn, this shit is just peak. Like every moment of the characters. I love the two main characters so much. Like just like and them interacting and just being inside this astrology club. It's just enigmatic. I don't know. There's no way to describe this because I didn't even write like a script for this last one, because I was just like, this is just like freehand, like the one of the best things I read last year, and it's helped me like grow as a person, understand myself and relationships along the way, but also like what love is, loving yourself along the way. That's what this series kind of illustrates, and being with somebody like kind of like tells you like who you are sometimes, I guess. Or in a sense, it's like a reverse way. You reveal much yourself to them, and they reveal good parts of you. It's like the connection is like it's a magical one in a sense. So I love something like this cool. If you love romance, anything even close to that, this is your boy. But yeah, hey, I thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. This video was 30 minutes. I talk so much. I feel bad. Like I don't want to make super long videos, but like, listen, I just be speaking from the heart sometimes. Just be talking about my truth, and I think you really realize that, and you fuck with it. So you will like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one, type beat. Hopefully the next video should be February 10th. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because it's a secret, but you're gonna like it. Then I got one for Valentine's Day. Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. Yeah. All right. Y'all say you stay breezy. Klcoma out.
He's the one for me. There's no place I'd rather be. Yeah. To the finish line. Everywhere you look, he's right on time.